Yeah, they come in talking sports and yes, they talking anime. Entertainment out here too, you know them boys, they do not play. Tweaking out if they ain't on your playlist every day. Yeah. Right. Tap and listen to okay. Now it's time to conversate. Same convo on your airways. Yeah, they came to entertain and yes, they talking anime. And they coming with the sports, they changing lives in major ways. You is tweaking out if TACA in your playlist. Hey, if you come and listen, then you listen to the best. They not worried about the others, cause they better than the rest. Kenny, Carlil, Bomb, but they put the others to the test. New episode flow, now tap in to see what is next. Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Same Convo, the podcast where we talk everything sports, anime, media, and entertainment. This is a sports segment, and as always, it's your boys Kenny, Carlil, and Bomba. And today we got a special guest, Jason. Thank you so much for coming on the show. How you doing, my boy?
For sure. I'm doing good.
It's a pleasure having you on tonight. Last week, when we started something real fast. Kenny started it, actually. We were talking about the Super Bowl. We had our Super Bowl predictions. I want to know, before the game started, who are you rooting for?
This is on me?
Yeah, Jason.
I'm not gonna lie, I was rooting for the Eagles. Definitely. Have to be honest. Definitely rooting for the Eagles.
I swear, this nigga Kenny is the only one on here that was rooting for the Chiefs, bro.
He's different.
You don't bet. You do not bet on Patty. Always bet on Patty.
That's who you're rooting for, though. Not betting, man. Really, that's two different things.
It's a team.
I'm betting on Patty, bro. That man wants it more than everybody else. You gotta bet on Patty. Bro.
You like light skins with white wives. I can't trust you.
That has nothing to do with it.
I'm dead. So I predicted the Eagles.
Brother, bro.
Carlo went with the Eagles. Like we said, Kenny was the only one with that went with the Chiefs. But what was your biggest takeaway during the game? Carlo, I'm gonna start with you.
My biggest takeaway during the game is that the Eagles defense fucking folded. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's just like Jalen Hurts played a masterclass game. Anybody that says Jalen Hurts folded or, that was Jalen Hurts' fault, they were not watching the game at all, bro.
That man Jalen Hurts had the Eagles hold the whole team on his back for real.
Literally every time. And I get that he made a mistake, that fumble in the first half, but bro, like every time the Chiefs scored and it was in the Eagles' possession, that man answered, bro. That man answered. The defense folded. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes played their asses off. Andy Reid coached his ass off in the second half. Those two wide open touchdowns when they ran the same exact play, the opposite sides of the field, bro. Like it's just that was my biggest takeaway. I think, in coming into that game, the Eagles have been the number one defense in the NFL. So I think they have the potential to reach Super Bowl level next year, but like the defense got to step up in games like that. Like they just, I don't know. It crashed. Everything just crashed.
Kenny, what was yours?
So I got
fuck that guy. My fault.
I was scared at half because the Eagles are up. Then I remember this Patty Mahomes. Every time he wins in the playoffs or Super Bowl, he's down at half. He always makes a comeback and wins. So I wasn't as scared. But I got really scared when he got hurt and he limped off the field. And I said, "Oh shit, here we go." But he played through it like a champ.
They put a whole bunch of illegal drugs in that man's ankle.
We all know. We're not gonna talk about it, but we all know.
This man played through injury like a champ. So I gotta give it to him for that. But I gotta say, we talked about who's gonna be like the next go to the NFL, next go quarterbacks. And I was saying it's too early for Jalen Hurts to be in that conversation. But from what I saw that past Super Bowl,
boy,
if he's playing like that by a halfway point in next season, I'm gonna give it to him. I'm not even gonna say if he gets the Super Bowl again because it's hard because I don't know if it was him or the O-line because they have the best O-line in the league. But every time fourth down came, you knew Jalen was getting the ball, but they couldn't stop him. He was out there looking like prime Cam Newton on fourth down, getting the extra yards that they need. JC, still here? You good? Jason.
There he is.
I'm here. I'm back. Sorry about that.
So yeah, he was looking like prime Cam Newton out there on 4th down, doing what he got to do to get the extra yards for that 4th down conversion. It was really good football being played. But I gotta say, you gotta bet on Patty, bro. You do not go against Patty Mahomes. 5 years, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl wins, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Come on, and let's not forget he don't even got Tyreek Hill. Let's not forget. So all that he's really just Tyreek Hill just outrunning everybody. No, it's not just Tyreek Hill. This man just did it without him.
Nobody said that. He has a whole Travis Kelce.
That's one person. This man had
Tyreek Hill was one person.
But it was Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
But you didn't mention Travis Kelce. You just mentioned Tyreek Hill outrunning everybody. That was your argument.
My fault. Yeah, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. This time we just did it with Travis Kelce.
And Juju.
Okay, whatever.
What you mean, whatever? Did you not see his second half?
Juju was getting open because they started keying in on Travis.
What?
But anyway, I digress. I'm going to make a point that Uncle Shannon made. You put Patty Mahomes, you switch the quarterbacks on each team. I don't think Jalen Hurts makes it that far on that Chiefs team as Patty Mahomes would on the Eagles team. With that O-line, with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, Patty Mahomes goes stupid.
Jason, what you think about that?
Let's not forget the Eagles have a decent tight end too. So let's not forget that too.
And who?
I like the points made by Kenny. Definitely like the points made by Kenny. I'd say their new replacement for Tyreek is Pacheco for sure. Same number. I feel like what they lost in the receiving game, they gained in the running game from him.
Mm-hmm.
That man was looking like prime AP out there, the way he was toting, the way he was carrying, the way he was running. I feel like they were
prime who?
Pacheco, the AP.
In that game. In that game, he was looking like a top 5 running back in the league, top 10, whatever you want to say. But in this game, this man was definitely a game changer. My biggest takeaway of the game, though, and Carlo hinted at it, Percocets, Perks, good old Perks,
big Perks.
That boy Patty Mahomes, boy, when that boy came back from the half, I could see it. Right here. I didn't see any more. That man just went off, man. I don't know. It's something about that, them Perks that just had that boy not even feeling the ankle. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That man did not feel anything.
Crazy. I saw a little TikTok of the before and after, and that's when I realized that, like, yeah, I could definitely see it in his eyes. So, but now, big up to the Chiefs. They played a great game. I think we have to start giving. Well, we already give Andy Reid his respect, but it's time to start recognizing him as that man, that Phil Jackson right now. You know what I'm saying? It's starting to your boy from the Spurs. Help me out, Kenny. Coach Pop. We got to start recognizing him as a mastermind. When you have that good of a coach who's calling those plays, who's been there before, who's had that experience, who's had a lead quarterbacks under his wing. I think we've got to start giving Andy Reid even more credit than what we already give him now. But big ups to Pat. Pat played a good game, played a great game, fought through adversity. And one of my the biggest takeaways is how they capitalized off that fumble. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that was the only reason why the Eagles lost, but man, when I tell you, if they didn't fumble, more than likely they were going up 21-7, 28-7, whatever the score was. I don't know. I feel like that it would have been a totally different game had that fumble not occurred. That just switched momentum. That was exactly what the Chiefs needed. So those are my few takeaways from the game.
Lit. That's crazy though. Kenny, I have to jump on something that you said, because you said that, as Uncle Sharp said, the Eagles had too many weapons. As somebody who does not really watch football and myself, watching the game, it seemed like, Kansas City, it was more of a team effort. Everybody was balling out. When I'm looking at Travis Kelce, what's his name? Pacheco, Patrick Mahomes, we ain't got to talk about him. But somebody like Bolton, that nigga was a wall the whole fucking game. like making stops like crazy. And I'm just watching it. The only person I've seen giving it back was Jalen Hurts when it comes to Philadelphia.
Huh?
And mainly, let me make my point. And
I disagree.
when that was happening, I'm just remembering our conversation that we had last week, where I was saying that once again, I believe that he might be one of the ones that got next. That boy's like that.
I gotta strongly disagree with you there, Bamba.
Go ahead.
I will admit they had a Pro Bowl running back this whole season. The Chiefs defense was effective in keying in on him and shutting their running game down when it came from the running back.
They got a Pro Bowl running back, 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers.
Wait, let me wait,
Pro
Carlo,
Bowl corner.
Hold on.
A whole Pro Bowl O line.
Hold on, because don't let me get started on AJ Brown. AJ Brown made the Titans look like the dumbest front office in the whole NFL this season. The whole season and in the Super Bowl, AJ Brown was eating them up. Devontae Smith had 2 of the biggest plays in the game, the biggest receiving yards in the game. So
let me ask you this, Kenny. Let me ask you this. Did AJ Brown and Smith have a better game than Travis and Pacheco? Would you say that they had a better game than them? Or would you say it would be the other way around? Just a question.
Well, Devontae didn't score. And like I said, he had 2 of the biggest plays in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Pacheco, I think, so I would compare Devontae Smith to Pacheco.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Pacheco just had more opportunities because he's the running back. So they handed him the ball more than Devontae Smith caught the ball.
Correct.
So he definitely had a bigger impact in terms of running.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to AJ Brown and Travis, AJ Brown scored. Travis scored 1 or 2 times. How many times Travis scored? Twice or once?
I think he was. I gotta look that
I think
up.
Travis scored twice.
He scored at least twice, though. Definitely scored at least twice.
AJ Brown scored. I think he only scored 1 time, right?
I believe so. Let me go back and check.
But I think the real tells were the defenses. The Chiefs weren't a top defense in the league, but they played like it that night. They kept constant pressure against the best O-line on Jalen Hurts the whole game.
Actually, Kenny, Pacheco scored once.
He scored on the goal line.
Kelce scored once. Tony scored once. Moore scored once. That's all the scores for the Chiefs. For the Eagles.
AJ Brown and Travis Kelce both scored once.
Yeah, Brown scored once, and then Hurts scored 3 times. I think Hurts really carried because when you look at the second half of the game, Hurts was running every other play. That man was literally carrying the team. So
he was running every other play because Chris Jones, and what's the other guy? Who's their D end? I forget his name.
On the Chiefs?
Yeah. What's his name? Hold on. Y'all know what I'm talking about because he got a sack.
Yeah, there was a couple that had sacks. There was a couple sacks. It's not George Karlaftis, right? Not him.
Nah.
Left DN or right DN?
I think he's on the left. Hold on. I think I got him here.
It has to be Frank Clark.
Frank Clark. He's my fault. D tackle. So Frank Clark and Chris Jones were in the backfield almost every play.
Yeah.
So that made a big difference. Also, I think all of Patty Mahomes' throws, they were wide open. So the Eagles folded. Like Patty Mahomes, usually you see him running, having to throw out of tackles. Patty Mahomes, this is probably the easiest Patty Mahomes has had it for real all season. He was making
that's the Chiefs. Any Chiefs game you watch, it seems like every single one of Kelce's catches is wide open. Like that's the offensive scheme. I feel like he has such a delayed presence in the offense when a play is called. Like literally, they take the wide receivers, they run their routes, they get them downfield, which draws the defense back. So when all the defense is rushing back, Kelce just sneaks right in, comes up behind everybody, and he's
on that deep end route. Yeah,
he's always open. So it really goes back to just great play calling and play design by Andy Reid and the OC. So
yeah, but Jalen Hurts had to make a little bit more difficult throws. He had to the one that was unforced, that one that was that diving catch that was dropped in the second half, that could have changed the game. That touchdown, I think, would have changed the game. But that throw to Goddard on the sideline, crazy breadbasket pass. But
Hey,
got to
that boy Goddard had him in the game, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying.
Goddard had him in the game, didn't he?
Patty Mahomes didn't make not one sketchy throw, not one tight pass. Every time he hit a receiver, they was butt naked, essentially.
That's just blown coverages. That's
like you
blown
said, he's the MVP for a reason.
That's what I'm saying. That's blown coverages. You should be able to make open passes when the defense blows their coverages. Like
that just shows who did their homework, because those two that you're talking about on the goal line, the little it was like a fake jet sweep zig route type pass route. They got that from a game in Jacksonville. Jacksonville was doing that against them. So what they were having is when the jet sweep came, that safety that was playing the nickel right there, he went back, played back deep, leaving that whole flat area open. So they noticed that in the Jacksonville game, they just kept doing that, and they did it everywhere.
That's facts. I mean, but I love this breakdown. I just wanted to scrape a little bit on the Super Bowl because that's what we ended on last week. But I wanted to mainly talk about the NBA and the trade that just recently happened. So we're going to go by team, starting by the Lakers, since we talked about them a little bit last week. I want y'all to really grade the trade that they've made and tell me your expectation of them based off the players that they got. So in a 3-team trade, we've acquired D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt.
Mo Bamba.
Yeah, I mean, Mo Bamba came from a different trade too, as well. But we managed to give away Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano Anderson, Damian Jones, and a first-round pick.
And Patrick Beverly.
Now, how would you grade that trade, and what are your expectations of the Lakers with this roster? Jason,
I'm up first.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. I give that Lakers trade a B+, A-.
Okay.
And the reason why I give them that grade is because, one, they got younger, which is something that the Lakers have been struggling with for years, with their older players not being as fast, and just the defensive side was kind of slacking a little bit. Not saying that these are great defensive players, but they're a lot quicker. They have a lot more stamina, and they're willing to play more defense because they're young. So they're gonna do whatever they can to get in the game. They got a lot bigger in Jared Vanderbilt. We got a player who is over 6'8" right there. Mo Bamba, who is definitely over 6'8" right there. And D'Angelo Russell, point guard who's over 6'4", 6'5", who can shoot and it can be smart with the ball. Can definitely be smart with the ball. He's been a Laker before. He doesn't, he still has to adjust, but he's been in that spotlight before. He knows what is expected of him. So I definitely say they won the trade. You hate to see Pat Bev go because of the mentality he brought to the Lakers. He was such a defensive hound. He brought that grittiness. He brought that attitude that I think Lakers fans liked. I think Lakers fans definitely liked Pat Bev and what he brought to the table. But for what they got in return, they understand, and I think they love the trade even more. My expectation for the Lakers, it's really in a tough position because they have to start winning now. They're probably, I think, 5 or 6 games below 500, maybe 2 games from the play-in tournament or something like that. So their last 20, 25, 30 games or whatever has to be win. Win. That's all that matters is winning. With LeBron being out the past couple games, they've got them a couple dubs and whatnot, but they've also lost a little bit. So what my expectations for them is, I think they can reach the plan. I definitely think they can get the plan with their new added pieces. Your boy, what's his name? White boy came back, so that's good that he came back. Austin Reeves,
that boy AI.
Yeah, that's good that he came back. And I'm interested to see D'Lo, Bron, AD all on the floor together. I feel like D'Lo's IQ with his shooting and playmaking ability, with those two on the floor, and just I feel like it opens up potential. I really do. And as far as Westbrook, I feel like he was in an unfortunate situation. He was playing decent. He was playing okay. But I think what they got in return was good, was great in terms for them too. I wasn't the biggest Westbrook fan. I know a lot of people outside of who look in to the Lakers and whatnot say everything gets blamed on Westbrook. It's not all Westbrook's fault. So the whole team. I understand that, and I agree with him. It's not entirely Westbrook's fault. But when he was with the Lakers, I never liked his decision making. I never liked his shot selection. I just never liked it. And his attitude was always kind of different than the rest of the team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For the most part. For the most part, I don't feel like he was ever honed in on just trying to win. And this is just my opinion. I just feel like his attitude wasn't the same. There was this clip of Lakers in the locker room saying, "Let's go, let's get it now, let's get it now." He came in and said, "Man, well, let's just have fun and see work." Like that right there would have blew me. That would have blew me.
No,
If everybody's locked in, like, yeah, we're gonna go out here and win.
right.
And then Westbrook 20 feet away is like, man, smiling on the face and whatnot. Like that would have kind of blew me. So I just think, from the get-go, after what he experienced after moving to the Lakers and being, kind of shitted on those first couple of games when he first got to the Lakers, I don't think he ever forgave that. I don't think he ever overcame that. He remembers that, and that's always going to be in the back of his mind when he first got to the Lakers and he was struggling. How bad Lakers fans were on him. I don't think he ever forgot that, and I think he still holds that to this day. But I wish the best for him. Right now there's teams aren't really picking him up. So I feel like he will get picked up, but I'm wishing the best for him, man. But that's my grade, and that's how I feel my Lakers expectations will go.
I mean, that was a great breakdown. Carl, I'm gonna let you pick up from that.
Facts. I mean, he literally was gonna say everything that I was gonna say. Definitely B plus. Definitely B plus because he was right. They got younger. It's sad to see Westbrook go because as a fan of Russell Westbrook, you wanted to see him succeed within that system, but they tried the first year as a starter, it wasn't working, and then it got like a little better this past year with him coming off the bench, but like Jason said, the attitude still wasn't matching up, and even when he was in with the starters, like his shot selection is just terrible. Like you would rather wait for him if he's the first person down the court. You would rather wait for him to wait for everybody else to reset so they can set up some kind of play. If he's down there by himself, he's shooting the ball or he's driving. And then if he doesn't feel like he has the layup, he's going to kick it out and turn over the ball. So I do think we got some good pieces, but I'm not going to set the expectations any higher than the play-in just because of they're essentially not a whole brand new team, but it's looking pretty new. It's kind of like new look Lakers for them right now. And so they really have to learn each other's game. They got to figure out a set rotational piece so they don't keep going in games with different starting lineups and different closing lineups. Like they need to figure that out. But I'm gonna give them play in, and I think if I think they have the chance to make it out the play in and do some work in the playoffs. But like I said, B plus expectation play in tournament.
Kenny, let me hear your thoughts.
I can't really disagree with what everybody else has said. B plus for sure. I like the size that we got the most. So AD, I want them to do this, but I hope they don't use Mo Bamba as a backup. I'd rather them start Mo Bamba as center. That way AD can go back to power forward where he's comfortable.
I like that, Kenny. I like that.
It'll also be easier on his body. We're not down the bank with the big boys so much because we know he's made of glass anyway. I like the pickup of Rory Hachimura. He's a defensive power forward. He's gonna shoot the three as well.
He's been hooping. He's
a hooper for real. He's gonna shoot the three. He's gonna play defense. He's not the biggest power forward, but he's decent. He's about 6'8", 6'9". He has decent size on him. We also got Jared Vanderbilt, which he should be the one that comes off the bench, I believe as well. Maybe I can run like a small ball center possibly because I know he's a natural power forward as well, UK product. I like it. I like it a lot. We were struggling with depth a lot. I think we cured that. I would like to see D'Angelo. So the thing is, I believe D'Angelo Russell brings everything that Russell Westbrook did. Plus, he's shooter. He can shoot. as well as playmake. I think the issue with Russell Westbrook, I didn't want him in the first place. I'll just say it like that. When it was who do we want? Kyle Lowry, what's the shooter from that was on? He was in Utah at the time.
Buddy.
It was Buddy. I'm like, I would rather have Kyle or Buddy for real. I don't want Russ.
I'm with you, Kenny. When I was watching him in the bubble against the Rock when Lakers were playing the Rockets, when they first traded for him, I was like, why would they pick up Westbrook after what I just saw in the bubble?
It did not make sense.
The bubble Westbrook was not good at all. The
terrible.
decision making, the shot selection was not there. Like I didn't think it was a good fit.
We could
that
have
wasn't even that wasn't even my thought process. My thought process is we've all watched LeBron since 2003. We've seen what he needs around him to be successful. He needs shooters. He needs a Kyle Korver. He needs a Mike Miller. He needs something like that. You know what I mean? Russell Westbrook has never, ever, ever been a shooter since he's been in the league. Not consistent from three at all. And his mid-range has disappeared pretty much out of nowhere. I think Westbrook still relies too much on his athleticism that just quite isn't there anymore like it used to be. So, and he hasn't been able to evolve with his age and the fall of his athleticism. So at that point, he just became a liability. Since Westbrook's been in the league, this is an issue that KD has with him. He doesn't make good decisions with the ball. He's prone to make turnovers. And I hate to say it, LeBron also is prone to make turnovers, but that's just because it's just the reality of having the ball in your hands so much because so many teams rely on LeBron. When you have the ball in your hands so much, you're going to be prone to make mistakes.
Facts. You're going to be the only one turning the ball over. Like,
exactly. So to me, Westbrook and LeBron is not good synergy. They offer pretty much the same thing, but LeBron can shoot better. So why have two players that are both ball dominant, sometimes can be pass first, but one of them can't shoot? It messes the spacing up. It messes play calling up. I didn't like it at all. So I'm glad that he's gone. I wish him the best. I hope he is. Utah's supposed to be buying him out, some waving him.
Hey, Kenny. He's supposed to be going to the Bulls, bro.
I don't like that either.
Yeah, I heard that.
That man gonna be in Chicago fucking your team.
The issue I have with that is the Bulls always want guards. I think it's the D Rose curse. Ever since they saw the success that D Rose, because the Bulls hadn't had success since Jordan.
Facts.
So the second that D Rose started providing them success at the point guard position, what have they been doing? Drafting guards. We need the next D Rose. We need another guard.
And it's not working.
It's not working.
It's a different league too,
bro. They have Io. They have Zach LaVine. They have CJ. What's his name? Something White. Not Kyle. What was
White.
Kobe White.
Yeah,
Kobe White. They have Lonzo Ball. They have What you mean?
I mean that boy can't play for.
Yeah, they had Lonzo Ball. They had what's the white boy? White boy.
Caruso.
They have Alex. That's too many guards, bro. That's OD guards.
And the Bulls are a big market. They should have no problem getting a KD, a LeBron, a Shea Gilgeous. It's like the Bulls should be a market to where big players want to go and play.
You don't need Shea Gilgeous. You don't need no other guards. Okay, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah. I want one more question from you guys. If the Lakers...
Okay, let me just finish. So I think the Lakers definitely filled the gaps what they needed. D'Lo can shoot. He's still a young guard. We definitely got younger, which we're gonna need because we don't have any picks anymore. So I think B+ is a fair judgment. I wish we could have got a little bit better on the talent side, but you can't have everything.
I got you, Jason. Let me hear your question though before I give you my grade.
Yeah, I think the talent side is pretty good. I actually like the talent that the Lakers got. But let me ask you this. Had the Lakers started the season with Rui, Mo Bamba, Vanderbilt, and Russell instead of Pat and Westbrook, do you think this Lakers season would be different? Do you think
they'd be fourth in the West right now?
Hey, that's what I'm saying. So that's exactly what I'm saying, Carlo. I think the talent is there. I think
we've lost multiple games because of Westbrook's turnovers and dumb shot decision at the end.
I feel like Rui and Russell shooting right there is a dip. That's an 8-game difference in terms of wins and whatnot. I feel like, and then you add Mo Bamba and Vanderbilt with the pace and defense right there and size.
And then you factor
Obama could stretch the floor a little bit. He can hit a corner three every now and then.
Even if you factor in the games that AD missed after that crazy run he went through earlier in the season, like exactly, we had a backup in Thomas Bryant, but Jared Vanderbilt, I would argue, is a little better than Thomas
Mhm.
Bryant is, and then you also have Mo Bamba. Like
Oh,
that.
hats off to
Thomas
Thomas
Bryant,
Bryant.
bro. I wish
I
he could've
forgot to
kept
give my
Thomas
hats
Bryant.
off to Thomas
Yeah.
Bryant. That
I
boy,
wish-
Crazy.
I wish he
I was
could've kept
sad to
him.
see him go. I
Yeah.
was
Crazy.
He's
It's
balling
like
out.
I mean,
he
asked out.
requested it. He requested it.
He knew it was coming. Probably he knew they was about to
I
get.
He
wanted
wasn't
him to
gonna get no
stay.
no
Yeah,
playing time with all that.
he wanted more playing time and more money.
Okay.
Who does he think he is? Anyway, but I wish he would have
Nah,
stayed.
Thomas Bryant.
He's
shoot.
worth it. He's worth
He
it
should.
right
I said
now.
we need either he could have been the starting and Obama could come off the bench. We need another backup point center. We don't have one right now.
But you know what it is though.
He was knocking down threes. He was knocking down mid ranges. He was
I
dunking
mean,
on people.
I want him to stay, but he's still not a superstar where he could
No,
be
not a superstar, but
He
he's
can't
a
be
good role
requesting more money like that. You feel me? But I mean, he can. Who am I to say he can't?
Shit, I
And
do
what I'm
the
saying is, we need somebody to play backup center. Jared Vanderbilt is a big man, but he's not center big. You know what I'm saying? And I would prefer Mo Bamba starting, so AD can play power forward. So I don't know what's about to happen.
Facts. But I agree with you guys on the B. I feel like for me the biggest issue we've had was also Russell Westbrook, not just because of just his turnovers or whatever, but his mindset. Like Jason said earlier, that video speaks a lot. Him being like, "Hey, be happy for the next man. This is not a next man team. This is a team. Like we're all supposed to be contributing and making buckets." But Russ, his whole mindset was always. I feel like his mindset of, if I make this shot and I make a difference now, it's gonna matter. So when we be having those key moments, he'll grab the ball, shoot that shit, or just try to like throw it, make it crazy, and then just like not only does that like cost you the game, but I feel like as a player that's gonna break you, and I feel like that has been a part of what affects AD too, and like especially last year, like going through these moments where you're always talking, and then you got to deal with that. A player is on the court doing whatever you want. As an other player, if you're seeing that, it's not easy for you, and that can kind of break your moral. But I don't want to take too much time on it. Going from my least problematic point guard to my favorite problematic point guard, I want to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. Now, they gave away Spencer Dinwiddie, Finney Smith, a 2029 first-round pick, and 2 future second-round picks to get Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris from Brooklyn Nets. Now, how would you grade that? And how far do you see the Dallas Mavericks going with this trade? Carlo, I'm going to start with you. We know how you feel about Baby Bird.
Man, you feel about Baby Bird and that boy Kyrie. You feel me? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it an A. I feel like it was an even well, not even necessarily, but I feel like, they gave us Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, Finney-Smith, he's a shot maker for real, but there wasn't a lot of production from him this season. But then you gave us Spencer Dinwiddie, Finney-Smith, but you got basically both of those back and a Kyrie Irving, you feel me? And then Markieff Morris, good backup power forward for you. To come in for what's his name, Christian Wood. And so no, I'm gonna give it an A. I think Dallas won that trade. So far, I think since Kyrie's been on the Mavericks, they've lost one game, and that was like by 3 points or something like that.
No, they've lost a couple.
They lost 2?
Yeah, they were their first 2 games with Luka and Kyrie on the floor. They were 0-2, but don't get me wrong, they were really good games though. They were really good games. They're still figuring each other out, but they've lost a couple games with both of them on the floor.
I have my thoughts on that. I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Yeah, I think once they figure each other out, I think Kyrie has to, and I think he will, because I think there's a point where you could see where when KD and Kyrie were on the floor, like Kyrie would most likely defer to KD unless Kyrie was having a hot night. Then KD had no issue with deferring to Kyrie. I think it's going to be the same setup. It's like, and I was also watching a interview with Jason Kidd where he said they made it known to Kyrie that this is Luka's team. You feel me? But I think once they get it together, set everything up, like there will be a time where Luka feels comfortable. Like, I'm not hit right now. Kyrie's hit. Let me defer to him. And same vice versa. So I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna give it an A. I think they got, other than the Suns, the Grizzlies, and the Nuggets, I think that's another team that has a good chance of making the Western Conference Finals. I mean, we saw Luka do it by himself last year. Feel me? And he took the Warriors to 6.
Great. Okay. Jason, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go another B here, B plus. I think the Mavs definitely got better. They obviously won the trade, and they kind of set themselves up for if Kyrie leaves. I think Kyrie's a free agent, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a free agent after this year. So actually, I'm gonna downgrade that to a B. I'm gonna just give it a solid B minus maybe. Because the thing is, if Kyrie doesn't stay after this year, you basically gave away 2 players and 2 picks. You can't get anything in return because you can't trade him. He's a free agent. So I'm gonna give it a B minus for there. On the upside, if they actually do really good and they start to develop that chemistry and Kyrie stays, then that B goes, I believe, to an A minus. I believe it just all depends on how this season plays out, what they see in these last 30 games between them two, and how they mix. The big thing with the Mavs now is going to be defense. You got Luka, who is not a great defensive player. He kind of shies away on the defensive end. He doesn't try 100%. So they're going to be attacking those 2 guys, and they're going to hold a lot of the defensive presence off their bigs, those next 3 up. So I believe that is from the games I watched between them 2, the offense is there. I have no problem with the offense. Christian Wood dominating, Kyrie doing his thing, Luka doing his thing. Right. All of them are doing the thing. So really what the Mavs is that defensive side. Is what they need to hone in on. And like Carlil was saying, they was getting to the Western Conference. They was making their presence known in the playoffs, taking the Warriors to 6. I think if they all lock in on defense, Luka and Kyrie especially hold their man down, communicating, actually moving, can't be ball watching, can't, argue with play calls to the ref on the other side of the floor while the fast break is going on. I feel like defense is what is going to really make the difference here. And I think Jason Kidd has a big, potential salmon dinner on his plate. He's got to do his homework, how to get them guys involved on that end. And just how to figure it out. So I say it was a pretty good trade for the Mavs, but there's a lot of risk as well. It's a lot of risk for if Kyrie leaves. Then what? We just gave up picks and we gave up Spencer Dinwiddie. And I think as far as the Nets, and we'll get to the Nets. And I'm gonna leave the Nets for that segment. I got a few words for the Nets. So
I got you. I'm
gonna leave that there. So.
All right, comes good. That's what's next. So we coming right back to you, Kenny. You go ahead and finish us off on that one. I mean, you're not finishing us off. I'll let you know what I think about it in a little bit. But go ahead.
I'm leaning more towards a B minus as well. The only reason it's that high is because the level of talent that Kyrie brings. Yeah. As far as strategy wise, I feel like it's a stupid move. It's very dumb. Strategy wise, I think it's dumb because, like you said, there's no guarantee that you're going to keep Kyrie after this. You can't even trade him for value. None of that. It's a very win this season type move, but at the same time, you have 2 guys who are ISO players, so it's not even like they can work well together on offense. Like you're not going to get a D Wade, LeBron. You're not going to get a Jordan Pippen type play style. You're going to get a James Harden and a James Harden. Exaggeration because they're both better than James Harden is right now. But you get what I'm saying. It's going to be a player who's going to hit left, right, twink behind the back, take it to the rim, or I'm going to shoot it. They should have what that is. There's no ball movement. There's no getting the next man open. There's no getting the better shot opportunity. That we've seen that's been successful in years prior. The Warriors, great at getting the next man the ball. The Celtics have been getting even better at that as well, hitting the open man. When you have players that require the ball to dribble to break a man down and then score, if that's how your offense is running, that hasn't been winning basketball in I don't know how many years now. I don't know if it's ever been winning basketball.
They play zone. Exactly what they can do is just play zone.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. I can't remember the last team where ISO ball was winning basketball, except for maybe Kobe, because it's Kobe. So I just don't see that. When even LeBron, when he wins ships, he drives and kicks to Kevin Love in the corner, or he's gonna hit Chris Bosh or Ray Allen or Kyle Korver, who's open now.
Even Kobe's teams, he was passing. He was passing to Powell, Bynum, Fisher. His teams were moving.
That's the closest I could have gotten to.
So you saying that Luka Doncic on the Mavericks doesn't move the ball? That what you
What I'm
saying?
saying, no,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm
He
saying.
he averages 8.1 assists and
You're
he
not
doesn't
listening.
move the ball. I am
Listen.
listening.
That is exactly my point. Because as soon as the ball is going to get into Kyrie's hand now, that ball movement stops. He's about to try to break down his man and get a bucket. Kyrie has never been known for being a passer, ever.
I mean, no, he hasn't.
Exactly. So now you put it in a position. He's never been known as just a spot up shooter either. Kyrie is a ball handler, and he's primarily a slasher more than he is a shooter.
So your argument is that once Luka passes to Kyrie, it's all over from there.
It's gonna be like, you take the ball. No, we literally saw it.
We saw that.
So
You
they
take the ball. No, you take the ball. It's gonna be one of those that just doesn't work.
So Luka not gonna pass to anybody else on the court.
That's not what I'm saying, Carly. You're trying
He
to get
averaging at 8.1 assists. He ain't gonna pass to nobody else.
You're trying to nitpick.
Shut up.
You're trying to nitpick to find what I'm saying.
I just want him to explain it better because you can't say they don't move the ball if he's averaging 8.1 assists a game.
What I'm saying is you have two very ball dominant players on the team. As we
one that passes it and one that scores.
Talk about, Kristaps Porzingis was on the team. He already had made it very known that he's tired of Luka Doncic not passing the ball. That's coming from his own team.
Kristaps Porzingis was too injury prone to even be effective on that team anyway.
Don't give him excuses. This is a report.
I'm not giving excuses. I'm just saying he should.
We are all on the outside looking in. This comes from somebody who's on the inside.
Luka Doncic passing to Kristaps was not going to make a difference for that.
Bro, shut up.
It doesn't matter. My point is being made that they're two.
The crazy thing,
ISO,
he didn't pass to Kristaps. That
he
he averaged 8.9.
Oh my God.
I don't need to say anything else. We saw what happened. They got in the game. It got to clutch time. They were both fumbling over. No, you take it. No, you take it. It just and they need time for chemistry to build. But I just don't like it together.
Ball dominant passer.
Kyrie can be a spot up shooter. He has a knockdown shot from three from anywhere on the court. It's just that's not his play style.
He has been.
I'll jump in real quick, just for a quick statement. I think I get what Kenny's saying. I definitely get it. I think they're going to be smart enough to realize that teams are going to figure that's what they're going to do. And I think Jason Kidd is smart enough to realize, okay, teams are going to think you two are going to pass the ball between each other. So let's not do that. You're going to see it. It's going to happen where they're passing. There's going to be instances in the game. But I think they're going to be smart enough to realize that's not going to work. I think that they're going to realize, like, ball movement is going to have to be key here. Yes, we could be the primary two scorers. But to say that they're not going to get Christian Wood involved, I think you can't say that they're not going to get other players involved. Christian Wood's definitely going to get his. Players like Dwight Powell, he's not going to get his anymore. His is pretty much gone. He might get his little second place. Who's the other one? I'm forgetting one more on that team. Who's
they small forward? They got rid of Finney Smith. Who started small forward now?
Yeah, let me look up the Mavs roster. I'll tell you exactly.
Probably Morris.
Morris is not playing small forward, bro.
I mean, why not?
Finney Smith wasn't starting as small forward.
Who?
Josh Green. So Josh Green is one who's done stepped up, who's now getting his. I've watched the Mavs like last 3 games. Josh Green is in that rotation of he's getting touches. And to me, the last couple Mavs games I've watched, like it looks like they're moving the ball. Like, and I feel like that was on purpose. Like Kyrie knows and Luka knows that it can't just be us two. There's no way. So I think like they've implemented a system where yes, y'all gonna get y'all buckets, but we got to move this rock. And from what I'm seeing,
I have a question.
What I'm seeing, Wood and Green is they involved.
And they
I have a question.
coming off the bench.
Who's gonna become the passer? So between them or both of them, even who's gonna become the passer? Who's gonna become the spot up shooter? Who's gonna take the big shot at the end of the game?
I think whoever's open. To be honest, I think that's how they'll
I feel like that's the option they're trying to go with.
Just how LeBron in 2016 averaged 30 and 10 in the playoffs and made it work with a Kyrie Irving who's a primary scorer. He is going to be the same with Luka and Kyrie. It's going to be the same.
So hold on, so I can just so I can jump into the conversation. Let me just drop you out with my grade. I give him a C+. I give him a C+ because I like the pieces that we had in Spencer Dinwiddie and Finney Smith. And I feel like because of Luka's play style, those players were underutilized. Let me explain. Luka gets his assists for sure. But we can all agree that during the last playoff, this thing would have been better had Luka been willing to pass the ball a little earlier. His game sometimes is, I'm going to go do my thing until is 0.5 seconds left on the clock. Then I'm going to throw it at you. And at times, Finney-Smith had caught on fire and saved his ass in games. Brunson was able to do the same. So a lot of times, Luka get bailed out in those situations. So for me, when I'm looking at that, and those players are also a big part of your defense, you decide to give that away, and you go get a Kyrie Irving and a Morris. I understand the statue of Kyrie Irving, but it doesn't make sense for you because you're in the middle of your season, right? You just gave up a big part of not just your offense, but your defensive presence. And then you get Kyrie, who is basically Luka. And to the point that Kenny was trying to make earlier, it's not going to be throughout the whole game that's going to show, but it's going to show during key moments. When me as a coach, I'm throwing up, and I know that Luka and Kyrie, both of them, the top of their game is mostly outside, dribbling up and getting in. Okay, let's just shut him down. Don't let him breathe. So as soon as that ball was inbounded to Luka, scramble, like go crazy with him, because you know that he's not really going to try to aim. That's not his primary goal. His primary target is not his teammates. He's not going to be like, who's open? Or he's going to be like, the basket, the basket, the basket. They shut him down. He went with Kyrie, and that thing was just pitiful. The back and forth on top of the rack there, that was just not pretty. So I feel like when you make that decision to have them, if you face up in the playoff against a team like, let's say today, for example, the Lakers, who got fresh legs, you know what I'm saying? And you decide that, hey, we're going to put bodies on these two for the whole game. You're going to purposefully like go and try to lock him up, not giving and knowing how Kyrie can get his buckets for sure. Luka will get his buckets for sure. I feel like those two will always make sure they get their buckets. They're going to get it, but I feel like overall you're not going to win because they're not able to get those teammates involved right now. The pieces that Luka was able to get involved, most of them are gone. In Brunson, Finney-Smith just left, Dinwiddie just left. I don't see them winning. And also, we're going to talk about it. Kyrie is most likely going to be joining the Lakers during I'm not even talking about he's going to be a free agent. He most likely going to be joining the Lakers if that D'Angelo Russell contract clears up. So what's the point of making that trade? I'm giving it a C+. But on the flip side of that trade, we also have the Brooklyn Nets, who have not just acquired Finney-Smith. They have also got Mikal Bridges, but they also lost the Kevin Durant. Now,
Fuck KD. Fuck KD. Fuck KD.
Wow. How far do you see this Nets team making it with this new roster? And what would you rate all these trades that happened, considering the situation that they were in? Carly, I see you ready. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't think it's necessary to give them a rating because we would all have the same rating. I don't think they were trading to win anything. I think they are in a rebuild process. The best thing they got out that trade is Spencer Dinwiddie coming back to Brooklyn. That's it. You know, homecoming Spencer Dinwiddie. Ooh, that's gonna be crazy. But
they got pieces, low key. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying. But it's going to be a rebuilding process. Like the Nets, they probably won't go for any big superstar for another couple years. But like they got some okay pieces. Dinwiddie, Finney, Mikal Bridges. But I mean, you don't see that team going nowhere. You don't see that team going nowhere until they get another superstar under their belt.
Ben Simmons for LeBron. But go ahead, Jason.
They might waive that nigga, but that go ahead.
To be honest, like what Carlo kind of said, Nets, them boys get a solid F, E, U, whatever you want to call it. Those three combined. I think the Nets will not be a good team ever again until Joe Tsai sells that team. I don't think any superstar is going to want to play willingly with that with Joe Tsai's management. I just don't see it happen. And to be honest, you can either put this situation into two categories for blame. You can either put the blame on Kyrie or you can put the blame on Joe Tsai. Whichever you choose, that's up to you, and that's however you feel. But you can put the blame on either one of those.
Facts.
Kyrie said what he said. He believed in what he believed in, and he called heat for it. But what made that public was one tweet by Joe Tsai. And to me, I think players will look at that and see how that situation started and will not want to play with the Nets. So Joe Tsai, you can go to his Twitter and go back to the tweet that started it all of him condemning Kyrie. And from that moment that tweet was published, domino effect of the next season. And with that, you lose trust in players. You're like, okay, if I don't have the same views as my owner, he's gonna out me. Like I just seen what he just did to Kyrie. Yeah, maybe Kyrie does have some what people will say outlandish views on, religion or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's your opinion on what you believe.
Facts.
I could say I believe Jesus was a walrus. I mean, if that's what I believe in, like that's what I believe in, buddy. Like Kyrie's views on religion is, they may be radical to some people, or they may be, crazy, or they was using the anti-Semitic word. That could be, you could use what you want. But like at the end of the day, like I feel like those are the two causes of what happened. Those two combined, that could have been settled in house. That Kyrie could explain where he was coming from in house, and I think things would have ended totally different. I think you'd still see those two on that team today. But as far as the Nets, terrible. I don't see any hope in their future. They definitely did not get better. I mean, we could go ahead and say that now. And they went from being in the Eastern Conference fighting against Giannis to now they're rebuilding over, who knows, 6 years, 5 years, 8 years. Like I just don't see it getting any better for them.
It's going to take a minute.
It's going to take a minute. And out of all the players they acquired, Spencer Dinwiddie, he's really, he went from being on the playoff, and they're still a playoff team. They're like, what, fourth in the East or something like that? I think they're first round exits. They're not winning anything.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, that's a first round sweep. Who I feel bad for the most is Mikal Bridges, too. That man put his heart and soul into the Phoenix. He was a big reason why they were even winning games. He was hitting the big shots when they were doubling Booker.
Defense.
Defense, and I understand the trade, but just to put him on that team, hopefully he's at the end of his contract or anything or something, a free agent, because I want to see him somewhere else. I don't want to see Bridges on that team. I don't want to see Dinwiddie on that team. I don't want to see. They need to become the Hornets. Really, they need to become them. I just that's my opinion on the Nets. So Nets, FEU, all those letters. Joe Tsai, he's got to sell. He's got to sell the team. And Nets fans, it's tough for y'all, dude. It's super tough. So, yeah.
Gonna go on and wrap this up.
I'm not even gonna lie. This current Nets team might go down as one of the worst teams in modern day basketball of all, period. The only other team that gets talked about in that light is the Bobcats. At least they had Gerald Wallace and Emeka Okafor.
The Bobcats.
This Brooklyn team is terrible. I ain't gonna lie, I feel bad for Nick Claxton, because Nick Claxton was having his best season in his career so far, and now it's like, am I the leader of this team now? Am I the team's best player? Because Ben Simmons is having the worst mental breakdown ever witnessed in basketball.
Can we dedicate a section to him, Ben Simmons? Can we dedicate something to him, dude?
He's having the worst. So Kevin Love tried to make mental health a big thing in the basketball in the NBA, but Ben Simmons is carrying it right now. You can see how he was getting compared to a LeBron-esque without a jump shot, and now it's like, what happened? You had a back injury, we get it. But ever since that incident with Trae Young, it seems like you're afraid of the basket. You're scared of the rim now. So you got that. You got what I will say is they might be one of the best defenses in the league. But as far as putting that ball in that room, it ain't happening. Nick Claxton's locked down the rim. Ben Simmons is still a decent perimeter defender. Mikal Bridges is always top 5 in perimeter defense every year. Spencer Dinwiddie's a good size point guard. So the defense is decent. So don't get me wrong. They got clamps on defense. They ain't got nobody to put that ball in that room at all.
I mean, I,
Hey,
right.
is Seth still on the Nets?
Yes.
No.
Wait,
Is he?
no? Yeah, Seth Curry. Yeah, he been injured.
Yeah, he is. I guess.
I'm saying, look. Picture this, right? Seth Curry come back healthy, just spraying. You know,
Stop it.
you talk about bringing up the potential because y'all know I love Seth Curry. Y'all look, Seth Curry just come back spraying. Ben Simmons. Let's just imagine he goes off. That could be a good duo right there. You
Listen, you had a
Stop
good
it.
fantasy
Stop
going on
it.
with Steph Curry, but as soon as you mention Ben Simmons, stop it.
Yeah,
The
we got to
crazy-
get Ben out of there. Ben is.
The crazy thing is the only All-Star on that team is Ben Simmons, and he's ass. So
Is he an All-Star?
He
I
was
could've
an
sworn
all-star.
he was an All-Star.
Oh, okay. I was about.
Ben
I
Simmons
thought you-
was an All-Star. He
He's
was
like
also
two-time,
rookie of the, a
three-time.
controversial Rookie of the Year, and he's now one of your worst players.
Yeah, nah, he
I
should
guess
have been
so.
Rookie of the Year, bro. I don't care.
So
if he
it's,
won
at this
so
point, what do you do? So, like as Jason said, this is going to be a very, very long rebuild because
Joe
you're gonna have-
Tsai has to sell the team. That is the only way. That
And
is-
that's a big part too. George
Wait,
Tsai
hold
is just a badass owner. Like you don't need him there.
you're gonna have
you
players.
can't out your players. He started a movement against his own player.
Facts.
And it started by him. It didn't start by Fox News. It didn't start by CNN. It started by the tweet of Joe Tsai. And that
And he
tweet
even-
was in November. You can go back and find that tweet in 20 seconds. That is where it started, bro. Like
Yeah. You're gonna
he
have
blew it
players
up.
requesting trades left and right. You're gonna have nobody wanting to re-sign that contract in Brooklyn. And I don't know what the current like time span on Spencer's contract and Michael Bridges. I don't know how much time they got left on that contract. But you can almost guarantee that there's gonna be teams hitting their phone though, because they know that they can get
They
them.
got pieces. They got solid pieces for teams.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna want Michael. Somebody's gonna want Seth. Somebody is gonna want Dinwiddie. Somebody's gonna want Cam Thomas. They got
nobody's-
calls.
The issue is
Thomas,
the issue is nobody's gonna give up their star potential for that. So you're just gonna get more role pieces like Michael Bridges.
Or
They might.
picks.
You're not even gonna get like a Jalen Brown.
But you know that they already turned down like a few offers because I'm pretty sure that it was on Bleacher Report this morning. One of them, either Mikal Bridges or Finney Smith, had an offer for four second-round picks, and they turned it down. And then Finney Smith had 2 picks offered for him.
Why they turned it down? They need picks. I'd rather at this point you need picks. The
Ben
players you got right now mean nothing to you because you're
Ben-
not making the run at all.
Simmons, Seth Curry, and Cam Thomas, the new big 3.
Terrible.
Shut the fuck.
Did you just
Shut
include
up.
Ben Simmons in that?
Yeah, I still have faith in him, bro.
Who?
Isn't Patty Mills on that team? You might as well said Patty Mills.
Patty?
Man,
Like they got
Bro, what happened to Patty Mills?
nothing happened to Patty Mills. That man is Michael Jordan of the Euro League, bro. And overseas, that man's a monster. But when he come back to the States, he's unheard of.
No, I
I
don't
did-
think that's it.
What you mean? You know how many Olympic and that man killed them in the FIBA tournaments. Y'all remember that?
Can I give an explanation? You know, the reason is because he is overseas Jordan. So a lot of the plays and looks is ran for Patty Mills to score. Once he gets here, coaches don't respect him. He's a support player here. That's the difference. These are all NBA players. So it's like everybody is talented realistically. It's just that, and this talent here, he's not that compared to other players. Overseas, with the coaches like Patty's our number 1 guy, he's gonna get most of the looks. He's gonna be able to shine.
I'm taking Patty Mills overseas over anybody in the NBA currently. I don't care what anybody says, bro. Take it. But my fault, except for Giannis, because overseas Giannis is crazy too.
What about Jokic though?
Fuck him.
He's weak.
Fuck
Well,
him.
Luka?
Fuck him too.
At this point, you got a whole list, nigga. Stop it.
Patty Mills overseas number 2 in the world. I promise you.
Olympic LeBron.
I'm dead. But that's for the sake of time. I really got to wrap it up on that
Olympic
one.
practice Kyrie.
Shut up. But before we leave, there is a ritual that we have, Jason. Anytime we have a guest, we got to ask you this question. Your favorite basketball player of all time and your favorite basketball team. I'll give you all time and currently. Let us have it before we go.
who is my favorite player of all time, or who do I think is the best all time? My
Best of
favorite.
all time. Who's your favorite? Let's go with your favorite.
Yeah, go with your favorite.
And I grew up a LeBron fan, dude. Look, I grew up a LeBron fan, so I have to say, to be 100% honest, I'm a LeBron fan. He's starting to get on my nerves a little bit over these last couple of years, but still, I'm still a LeBron.
What did LeBron do? What did he do?
Doing what?
LeBron, he just,
I ain't gonna lie, he did rub me. He sold out Kyrie. I didn't like that.
I didn't like the fact that he sold out Kyrie.
How he sold
So LeBron is like, sometimes LeBron can really get, as a LeBron fan, he can really get on your nerves. One thing I've never liked about Bron, even him as my favorite player,
Right.
like I believe sometimes, he talks to the refs a lot, and sometimes that can really hurt us because it'll keep him from going down in the defensive end. Like I see plays all the time with the Lakers where LeBron tries to get a layup, gets fouled, rightfully so. He should be mad and upset, and instead of like just running back and trying to play defense, he'll stay back and argue with the ref, and more than 80% of the time, 90% of the time, they score on the other end. So that's just one thing that I just, it really grinds my gears about Bron. That's that's one of the things. But other than that, nah, that's pretty much it though. Bron always been my favorite player. I probably started watching basketball seriously, 2006, 2007, 2008.
Okay.
And for me, when I'm watching basketball around that time, I'm just like, there's nobody better than this dude, bro. There's nobody better than this dude. My pops.
2006. You're saying that in 2006?
No, not 2000. I'll say about 2008. I'll say about 2008 is when I really was like.
When Kobe won a championship, but that was the Celtics.
Nah, Kobe didn't win a championship in 06, but
Kobe won 07, Celtics won 08.
yeah, or I think it might have somewhere around there. But yeah, when I was just, the way he was playing, the way nobody could stop him, and just, the combination of speed, athleticism, shot making and everything, dude. I just was like, dude, if I want to be like any player, I want to be like him. I want to be able to jump like he can jump, dunk like he can dunk. Just be dominant on the court like that.
And disclaimer, before he goes on, he kind of does jump like him. This nigga got arms like that.
It's more
Right,
like
like-
Wolverine.
There's a couple players that made me infatuated with trying to dunk a basketball. One of them was definitely LeBron James. I watched a lot of Ball is Life mixtapes growing up. So T-Dub, shout out to good old T-Dub and Air up there. And there's a few more folks out there. But I fell in love with basketball watching LeBron, watching the athleticism was what really got me because I always wanted to be an athletic player. So yeah. And I never had a favorite team, bro. I'm from Kentucky, as y'all know. So, if you want to stay local, you can choose the Pacers, or you could choose the Grizzlies, or you could go to who's in Ohio? Cleveland, or you can go, west a little bit. So for me, I was a big LeBron fan. So I just say, what? I like Cleveland. I grew up watching them with Cleveland. I can admit when he went to the Heat, I started liking the Heat. I never really growing up. I just never really picked a team. My dad was a big Lakers fan, and he liked the Lakers. My stepdad, my dad, and my biological dad. He's from Chicago, so he was a big Bulls, Michael Jordan fan, and that's who they grew up with. So of course, the arguments with them two dudes was insane. That's where I grew a love-hate relationship with Kobe, dude, and my views on Kobe and LeBron, bro, have completely changed, after what happened to Kobe. I grew up, and that's how, I grew up, I grew up arguing with my dad about Kobe all the time. Nah, he's not better than LeBron. Nah. He's not, But one thing I will have to give Kobe over LeBron is mentality. He's got that dog in him. LeBron's got dog, but he don't got dog like Kobe, dude. I have to give it there. I have to say that Kobe's got that dog in him.
That's sentiment.
I'm sorry, I have to respect that. That's starting to get, I have to really start giving that more respect to Kobe. Kobe's got that dog in him.
LeBron has more buzzer beaters.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna lie, Kenny. A lot of these issues we had today, I feel like if Cole was still around, rest in peace, we would not have it. He's not gonna let the Lakers just be out here just being soft last season with LeBron not talking. He will get in that locker room and cuss everybody out.
Yeah,
Let's not forget the Lakers was trash when Kobe was there. Kobe
yes, but he was talking to them. All those players, he was talking to them. He was forming them. That was the oldest Kobe you had.
And nothing happened.
Facts.
At
Yeah,
all.
but you need to talk. As a leader, you need to talk. If Kobe could not deliver the way that Bron was delivering at the same time, like at the same age, facts. But he was speaking. When Bron finally came out, I remember towards the end of the season and threw the ball down and I was yelling mid-game. I'm like, you just showing off right now. I don't fuck with that. You need to be speaking from the beginning of the season. Don't wait till we have like 70 games for you to be like, oh, I'm mad. What fucking do it, man? Fuck out of here.
So
No.
just because you saw it in after 70 games doesn't mean it doesn't happen on it. You got to think
And
that
guess what?
he's
As soon
a
as he starts
vocal
speaking,
leader.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that because as soon as he starts speaking, Patrick Beverly sat on the podium and said, I appreciate Bron for finally speaking. We've been waiting for it. Thank you very much, Carlo. Jason, you can go ahead.
Bron does have he does have you know, he does have his moments where he isolates himself. He leaves games early, you know. LeBron shows his emotions a lot on the court, as we've seen. We can throw a picture up of LeBron crying on the court, you know, with his arms.
I got you.
Bron shows his emotions on the court. Bron has always been a more emotional player, for sure. And sometimes that can get to a team. You see your leader, you know, and he can obviously see he's mad at you. And we're on national TV, and the people who's watching on TV can see that LeBron is mad at you for doing something like that. You know, it just depends. You know, leaders' reactions are different. You know, Kobe, I honestly could say Kobe would have probably handled things a lot different. He may have actually, you know, went over to them, talked to them one-on-one. Whereas LeBron sometimes will just ignore you, and it's very obvious on his face when the camera gets to him that he's upset with you. You know, I could see they're definitely different players at that. You know, LeBron's leadership, he's definitely a leader of a team. You see, you know, the pregame huddles, after the games, they just got two different leadership styles, bro. Like, you know, I feel like LeBron could be way more better in that area as far as, you know, leadership and, you know, showing his emotions and, you know, being a better teammate for his team. I say that part of it. But I'm still, you know, a LeBron fan. Grew up watching LeBron. Still my favorite player. So.
And who you got winning this season? Who you rooting for this season?
Ooh, okay. Realistically, who I think is going to win? Listen, dude, that Phoenix team, dude. You tell me, dude. Like, honestly, you got Chris Paul, Booker, KD. They just signed your boy Terrence Ross, a nice three-point shooter, athletic wing.
That's crazy.
Who's their bench now? Who's their bench? Who's their?
Don't forget about DeAndre Ayton. Like
Ayton. They still got Cam Thomas, or is he? I'm not Cam Thomas. Cam Johnson, or is he gone?
No, I think they still wait.
Yeah, because that's important. That's important.
Wait.
To be honest,
I think he might be.
Y'all forget Jay Crowder gone to Brooklyn too.
Bro, fuck Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder.
Fuck Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
He's good on defense.
Wow, I forgot they gave Cam Johnson to Brooklyn.
They gave him to the Nets too.
Yeah,
I gotta relook at their roster, bro. But
the Nets are suffering. Not the Nets. The Suns are suffering from depth, and Chris Paul's hamstring is gonna get pulled again.
and
listen.
They got
KD
TJ Warren too.
Who?
They did get TJ Warren.
Yeah,
TJ Warren, another bucket getter, a bubble goat.
TJ Warren ain't been a
bubble
bucket
goat.
since the bubble. Yeah, he ain't been a bucket since the bubble.
Year 2023 NBA World Champions, the Phoenix Suns. Everybody.
Phoenix Suns or Celtics? I'm gonna
They
go
getting their
Phoenix
first
Suns or
ring in
Celtics.
franchise history. Is what y'all saying?
What'd you say?
That would be their first ring in franchise history.
I promise you, it's like Campaign, Landry Shamet, Okogie, Torrey Craig, bro. Like you got the starters. You got a big four essentially, and Chris Paul, Booker, KD, and Ayton. You got a big four. You got a decent bench that can produce for you. If they don't win this year, bro, they're not winning ever.
If they don't win, that's a big stain on their career.
Facts.
I think the
here's the
Celtics
thing.
can get us. I think the Celtics can run them though.
Think so?
I think the Celtics already showed they can.
That's a fair argument.
The Celtics
That's a
already
fair
showed that they can rattle KD.
That man
That's
KD was in hell last year.
Man,
Jason Tatum had that nigga in
KD
hell.
Scared.
Good God.
I think, and they've only gotten better since last season.
Facts.
So I think the Celtics have a good. I think that if it comes out to Celtics or Phoenix, I'm leaning more towards Celtics.
And now the Celtics don't got. I mean, they got Giannis still in the East, but that's it. Like they really don't. Nobody
players
the
moved
Bulls,
away from
still out there too. The Bulls still out East.
candy.
You said the what?
Candy, candy, bro.
Hey, Bob, why are you saying about Miami? You've been always rooting for Miami, but where Miami at?
Facts.
Quiet for them.
But that's all we
Wait,
have. for the sports
We're
section.
forgetting about Philly. Y'all gonna count Joel out like that?
Yeah, Philly definitely. Let's talk about Philly.
Y'all
Bro.
gonna count Philly out like that?
What
Yes.
you want to say about Philly, Kenny?
Go ahead. Say what you gonna say about Kenny. I mean, Philly, Kenny.
Joel.
What about him?
I was about to say, what about Joel?
I don't think DeAndre Ayton could stop Joel for real.
No, for sure. And then who on the Sixers
James Harden is back healthy.
playing defense?
Yeah, the defense is iffy working.
I was about to say, okay, you got DeAndre Ayton not stopping Joel Embiid. Okay, who on the Philly is stopping KD?
James Harden
Devin-
is the only one to have
Devin
a no look
Booker.
steal.
But
And
even
a
before
Chris
y'all think
Paul.
about that matchup, it's between really Philly. Is Philly gonna make it past the Celtics?
No.
Is that what you're betting on? Okay, then. So it should be Celtics versus
I was
Celtics.
about
I
to
think.
say,
As long as the 76ers still have PJ Tucker, I don't see him winning anything, bro. That man PJ Tucker is the greatest finesser in NBA history, bro.
He
That man
did.
sits in the corner.
He is the new Jared Dudley.
That man is there's one of the greatest finessers in NBA history, bro.
Kenny,
And guess what? If he was to leave this season, there would be a team that would pick him up, definitely, with ease.
Facts.
But nah, that man,
PJ Tucker is the worst player in the league right now.
I look up to PJ Tucker, bro. Like I want to go in the workplace and be like him, get a whole bunch of money.
You said worst player?
He is the worst player that actually gets playing time. I'll say that.
See, now you're starting to change your sentences.
He is the worst player that actually gets playing time. So I'm sure there's some scrubs that sit all at the end of the bench that don't play. But I'm gonna say PJ Tucker is the worst player that actually plays.
For the minutes that PJ Tucker gets and the amount and the money that he gets and the contributions that he contributes, I'll have to put him up there.
It's a shoe collection.
Not a
You
bad
got
player.
to.
Not a bad
He
player.
got the best shoes in the league for sure. He winning that. He got the best shoe game for sure.
That's why you gotta put him up there. It counts. But yeah, man, let me wrap this shit up. That is all we had for the sports segment, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Jason. It was a pleasure having you on. And you definitely got to make sure you come back for more. Y'all be sure to like, subscribe, follow, send this to your family, your friends. Who we sending it to, Kenny?
Send it to your grandma.
Yes, sir. Send it to your grandma. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.